for joining me for this Friday evening gentle yoga practice. My name is Jasmine. If you've not practiced with me before, we are going to be using a strap or a belt for your practice today. It's not essential, but it is going to come in handy with a few of the postures. So not totally yin this evening, we're working not as slow as that, but we are going to be opening up into the whole of the body. So it's a real full body approach. Really, really perfect to truly arrive and become embodied in ourselves for the arrival of this new moon in Cancer. More about that later, but it's definitely the time to be pulling back, to be resting, to be recharging, and thinking about kind of what you want to move into in the upcoming weeks. So if you've been feeling a lack of energy, or if you've been feeling the energy dropping or changing or shifting, then it has been, so you're just in tune with that. So straps just to one side, belts to one side, and we're going to come all the way down, starting on our backs in reclined butterfly pose. So just settling our backs down onto the floor. Take the soles of the feet together and just allow the knees to drop wide. Maybe just taking a rock with the knees side to side, feeling the weight of the pelvis on the floor. And then I'm going to invite you to take one hand to cover your belly and one hand to cover your heart. Closing down the eyes. And just knowing that whatever has happened in your day, in your week, that this time now is for you. For you and your body to completely switch off and dissolve into a state of relaxation, of bliss. So tune in with the heart. How does your heart feel? How is the heart beating? When you connect with your heart space, your heart center, do any initial emotions arise? The new moon is a time of increased emotion, intensified, intuitive emotion. So be in tune with that and how you feel. And then with this connection and this awareness, begin, if you've not already, to deepen the breath. So with the lips sealed, we take a nasal breathing pattern to really inflate the belly as we breathe in. And then feeling everything soften and drop back down with the exhale. And again, feeling the belly expand, breathing into both hands. And on the exhale, allowing everything to come back to center. We live such busy lives that just taking this time to connect in with our breathing and connect in with how our bodies feel can be such a powerful tool. Not only does it bring you back to the present, but it brings us out of that state of flight or fight. So it rebalances out our central nervous system. Just taking one last full breath here. And as you exhale, exhale out the mouth to sigh. Releasing the hands from the torso. You can take the hands underneath the knees if you like, to bring the knees back together. And we're going to take hold of the right leg, holding over the shin, or you can hold the back of the thigh, holding that leg close in towards your body. And then you've got the option of stretching that left leg out on the floor as well, just to intensify this. So take a deep breath in here, and then as you exhale, see if you can nod your forehead towards your knee. On your inhale, release the head back to the mat. Holding that leg in close as you exhale, nod forehead to knee. Inhale, release. Last time, as we breathe out, we nod the forehead up, squeezing that leg in towards your chest, your body, and then releasing back down on the inhale. Taking this right leg all the way over to the left side now, stretch that right arm out. And see if you can gaze those fingertips. We come into a gentle twist. Allowing both shoulders to be attached to the floor. Clicking and clunking in the back is perfectly normal here. And then drawing that leg back through to centre. We're going to swap legs now, so holding on to the left, either back of the thigh or maybe the shin if you can, and we're stretching the right leg out long as your option. Holding this leg in nice and close to the body, trying to attach your thigh to your belly and chest. Take a deep breath in. Being mindful with movement and breath as you exhale, nodding forehead towards your knee. And then inhaling, replace that head back down to release. Let's take this 2 more times. Exhale, really empty the lungs completely. And then as we inhale, fill the lungs completely. Last time, exhale, rounding all the way up, nodding forehead to knee. And then releasing the head back down to the mat. Taking the left knee and leg, this time all the way over to the right side, stretching your left arm out along with shoulder height. And you can send the gaze to look away from that leg just to intensify this twist. Breathe into the belly and breathe out from the belly. Then coming to rest now all the way over on this side. So we're curling over almost in the fetal position, and we're just going to stack the hands on top of each other, knees stacked on top. And we're going to take a chest opener here. This feels so good to do. We're going to round that arm, just a little soft bend in the elbow, all the way up, taking it back, and then allowing it to release back down to that hand. So we take 2 more circles. Try and make the circle bigger each time. Inhale to open that arm up, and then exhale to draw the hands back together to meet. Let's take 1 more. Big circle, really reaching this time, extending through the arm, through side body. And then exhaling, we're bringing the hands back through together. So just rolling over to face the other way now. On your other side, we bring the hands to meet. And we start off with a small circle. So a small circle to take that arm around. Inhale. Opening through the chest. Enjoy that sensation. Exhale to take the hands back together. Making that circle bigger this time. Really paying attention to each individual sensation, each ache and pain. Ironing through that tension. Exhale, hands come to meet. Last one, make this your biggest, your fullest. Take up space, breathe in. And then as you exhale, just allow those hands to come back together. And slowly we're going to push ourselves up all the way onto our hands and knees. So let's just take this time to massage through our cat and our cow. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Take a deep breath in. Allow your belly to drop to your tailbone, open your chest. As you exhale, push the floor away, tuck the chin and round your back up to the sky. And again, ironing through the other way. This time we inhale, belly dropping, heart opening. And as you exhale, upper back lifts to the sky. Let's take 1 more of these, really massaging through, trying to articulate each and every individual vertebra in the spine. Create space. Exhale. Come back through and stack yourself into that neutral position and send the right leg back behind you. We're going to lift up into side gate. So coming into a side gate variation, right leg straight, left leg bent, knee underneath the hip, left hand underneath left shoulder. Stretch your right arm up and overhead, and then lengthen that arm to the side wall. You can choose to stay here and just reach and open up through side body, or you can take a lift to the rib cage and just intensify that stretch as much as you have space to, and as much as you wish to. We're not here long, so take a deep breath in, and then as you exhale, lift the rib cage a little bit higher. And then as we release, we take that arm all the way up, windmilling up, coming up on that knee. We're going to move in the opposite direction. This time moving towards the straight leg, really reaching, lengthening across with that hand. This time the ribs are shifting and pulling back in the opposite direction. We're not here long, take a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, ribs pull to the side wall, we lengthen over, feel that opening in the side. Releasing all the way down, coming back onto your hands and knees. This time we extend through the left leg. So left leg extending long. And we're going to twist onto our side, coming into side gate on the other leg. Making sure we're stacked, hand underneath shoulder, knee underneath hip. Taking that top arm all the way over, reaching, lengthening. Option to stay here, and again, option to send the rib cage up. So we're creating space down the side. The hand might travel down to give you a little bit more length. Take a deep breath in here. And on that exhale, just feel the rib cage, the lungs expand as you stretch into the intercostal muscles. Take a deep breath in, release, come all the way up. And this time moving in the opposite direction, have a slight lean towards that straight leg, hand coming down, reaching, lengthening, this time ribs shifting and opening side on. Take a deep breath. And as you exhale, feel that opening, feel that space created with the breath. And then inhale, we release all the way back through to our kneeling position. And we're going to come to a seated position. So our Friday class, we don't actually get off the mat. It's really nice and relaxed. I think it's needed after your weeks at work. So we're going to come to a cross-leg position. Just take note which leg's in front, because we are going to swap as we go through. If you'd like to come into half lotus and cross that top leg on top, you're more than welcome to. We're going to be here for quite a while, and my knees are dodgy today, so I'm not doing that. So we're going to take the right hand high first, and this is where you might need your strap. So I actually need the strap on one side and then not on the other. It's very confusing. So I'm just going to take the strap in my right hand, and that hand is on top, but working through with the bottom, the left hand first, taking that out to the side, and then flipping the palm so we are reaching that left hand as high up in between the shoulder blades as you can. So wiggle that hand up really high, and then you're either going to clasp hands together, or we take hold of the strap with both hands and pull the hands to meet, as close as they will. So here there's a tendency to feel like this top arm is dropping down. Maybe you want to round in the back. I know my body wants to do just that, so I know how you feel. What we're working here is we're working with lifting that top arm up, getting that bicep close to the ear. So we're here for just 5 breaths. So you might like to close down the eyes. But from wherever you are, we're breathing deep and direct into the belly. And then we're emptying the lungs completely. Breathing deep and slow. And emptying completely. 3 more breaths. slow breath here, breathing in. And as you exhale, you can release those arms, release them, and you're going to swap legs. So the other leg comes on top now. And this time we take the strap in our left hand. So the left hand's coming on top this time. And we're going to work through the bottom, the right arm to begin with. So that hand swoops down and up, reaching for that space in between the shoulder blades. Scooch that hand up as high as you can. And then we're either holding hands or we're holding the strap. Now weirdly, one side, sometimes you can gear up the hands, and one side is a little bit harder. We all have these imbalances, know that's perfectly normal. And just make sure the sit bones are grounded and we're not rounding through, but we're opening up tall and long. That top arm hasn't really released down. We're really working with drawing that arm back. Opening up through the shoulders, through the tricep. And we slow ourselves down here in stillness, breathing for 5 deep breaths. So with an intention to slow down that inhale and slow down the exhale. You have 3 more breaths here in this position. Taking a deep breath in now. And then on your exhale, releasing those arms, releasing the hands. Give them a moment. Maybe you want to scrunch through the hands. And we're going to switch the legs again. So we're switching, coming back into a cross-leg position. Maybe this time you want to come into half lotus if you have the space. So that's going to be crossing that top leg over. As I said, my knees are grumpy with me today, so I'm not going to be doing that. And we're working through with the different arm variations. So send the arms long and wide. Bend your elbows. And then squeeze the shoulder blades back. So feel a sense of the shoulder blades retracting, drawing together, opening through the heart. And then we're going to take the right arm high and the left arm low. And we're going to cross. Backs of hands meet or palms of hands meet. That's your choice. Take a deep breath in and see if your thumbs can meet your third eye chakra, that space in between your eyebrows. Lift your heart. And then as you exhale, just feel your body releasing down and over the legs. You might pause here. You might pause with the elbows resting on the shins. Maybe the hands come to the floor. Maybe you can release down completely. From wherever you are, settle in and find a position that you're going to be comfortable holding for 5 deep breaths. Enjoying this protected, safe position. Noticing how moving the body in this way differs to moving the body in the opposite way as we did before. We find we usually have a preference. We either like moving forwards or we like moving back and opening up. Or you might be one of those people that can do both. Let's take 2 more breaths here, slowing down the inhale. And the exhale. Last one, breathing in. And breathing out, releasing those hands and coming all the way up, walking the hands back up. We're going to cross the legs the other way for the last time now. Once again, choosing to take potentially that half lotus position. if your knees will forgive you. And we're going to open up through the arms again, this time bending through the elbows. Spread the palms, so really spread the hands wide and open through the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, open the throat. And this time we cross left over right. So left coming on top, right going underneath. Backs of hands or fronts of hands come together in prayer. And we bring potentially those thumbs to meet the third eye, the space in between the eyebrows if they will. And we take a deep breath in to lift and open up through your heart. When you reach your exhale, you pull the belly in and you release the body over the legs, folding forwards, releasing down. As far as your body and your hips will allow, potentially the forearms rest on the thighs, maybe on the floor. Maybe you're down here completely, but just feeling a sense of protection of the heart. With the arms over the chest here. And sometimes when we round forwards, we can feel a restriction to breathe. So with direct intent, try to deepen each breath. And we hold this position for 5 deep cleansing breaths, allowing your body to soften, encouraging your mind to sit still for a moment. Last 2 breaths in this position. Taking a deep breath in and a full breath out. Allowing the arms to release, and slowly we can walk ourselves back up to center. And we're going to stretch one leg out long and then send the other foot to meet your inner thigh. So we're dropping that bent leg out to the side, releasing the knee. So we have an opening through the hip. And we have one leg straight. Taking hold of your strap or your belt, we're going to loop it around the sole of the foot, not too close to the toes. Make sure it is sitting in the middle. Now you might find that you are going to work quite well with a strap or a belt. Maybe if you have ample flexibility, you probably might not need to use one. So just play around with it, it is optional. We're going to take a deep breath in here and lift your heart. And then as we exhale, we're just going to begin to fold forwards. And again, deep breath in, feel the spine lengthen long. And then as we exhale, folding forwards, melting down. Last one here before we find stillness, breathing in, lengthening, opening through the spine. And then exhale, we release down. So maybe you've climbed further down that strap. Maybe you can hold the toes, the feet. If you'd like to take a bind here, you can wrap the same hand as your bent leg around the sole of the foot, and the same straight leg as your hand, you can reach for that wrist. So that's our bind for this posture. Most people will get to about here and feel enough. So just come to wherever you need to feel that stretch in the back of the leg. And we're going to hold for 3 deep breaths. Inhale. And exhale to soften. Deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Last one, fill your lungs. And empty your lungs. And then slowly releasing out of this pose. We're going to release the strap from the foot. Send that bent leg long. My knees are really grumpy at the moment. And bend that other leg and place the sole of the foot along with the inner thigh. So just allow that knee to drop out to the side. Once again, taking that strap if you're choosing to use it, or belt, looping it around the sole of the foot, not too close to the toes. And we're holding it on so we find a tension with the strap. Pulling that leg back in towards the hip socket to square off the hips. Take a deep breath in and lift the heart. And then as you exhale, just allow yourself to hinge forward from the hips. Coming closer to the thigh. Breathing in again, we breathe from the base of the spine out to the crown of the head to lengthen. And then as we exhale, we're pulling on that strap, maybe coming down a little bit lower. One more breath here before we find stillness. Breathing into the spinal cord, lengthen the back. And then as you exhale, we release. Making sure you've got a nice bit of tension on the strap. Either staying here, or if you'd like to take the bind, same hand as bent knee loops around the base of the sole of the foot. Same straight leg as hand reaches for that wrist. We hold here, and then as we exhale, we draw the forehead past the knee, releasing into this forward fold. So just because you get into a pose any less or more doesn't make you any better or worse at yoga. It has nothing to do with your joint mobility and everything to do with your intent behind each pose. So we have 2 more breaths left here. Find that stillness, breathing in and breathing out. Last one, breathing in deeply. And then exhaling completely. Releasing that strap from your feet. You're going to send both legs out long. Maybe you just like to give them a little twist, a little rock side to side just to release them in the hip sockets. And we're going to take a straight leg forward fold now. So coming up onto your sit bones, I want you to pull the flesh away from the bum cheeks. So you're sitting directly and grounded through the hips. Now to begin with, we're going to take this really quite soft, and we're going to make it more intense as we go. So just have your strap or your belt potentially at the front of your mat. We're going to take a bend to the knees, and we're going to just drop our chest towards our thighs. So you might be up a lot higher, you might be here to drop that chest towards your thighs. And you want to nod the forehead down through the knees. So sometimes when we get to this forward fold, a lot of people can feel locked in the hips quite high up. So it's really nice to know that you can take this bend. There's no need to lock out through the knees. And then from where you are, bring the hands to the floor and see if you can just walk those feet out a little bit further. So we're starting to straighten off the legs. You might be holding on to big toes or the soles of the feet. Maybe you're holding on to the strap around the base and the arches of the feet, and you're using that to draw your body forward and down. So there's 2 schools of thought when it comes to our forward fold, whether you have a straight flat back or whether you can release and round down. Again, there is no right or wrong really. One is working the masculine, the yang energy, straight back. One is targeting the soft connective tissues of the feminine energy, yin. So I'm going to allow you to decide what you'd like to do for yourself in your practice. This is your practice, no one else's. So do you want to work on a more active posture with the feet flexing, the arms pulling and the back lengthening straight and long? Or do you just want to give in to the rounding of the spine, nodding the head down and soften? Your body is usually quite good at telling you what you need. So listen to that voice in your head that tells you what it is you need to do. hold here together for 3 more deep breaths. Really find stillness in this pose. One more deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just start to walk your hands up, coming all the way up to sitting. And then when you're ready, make your way down onto your backs. And we have a leg sequence to move through on your back. So it's going to be handy to have a strap or a belt for this sequence. And I'd like you to bring both knees to bend to start with, flats of the feet on the floor. And then taking the strap or the belt and wrapping it around the sole of your right leg and extending that leg up to the sky. So from here, we're just going to work through opening up the back of the leg. It's fine if you'd like a soft kink. Of course, it's more intense if you straighten out that knee. So take a deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, pull on that strap a little bit to bring that leg closer to you. And again, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, pull that strap closer, slightly guiding it towards your face. One more breath like this. Inhale long. And then as you exhale, pull that strap and hold. Option to stay here, option to send that left leg straight. So both legs are in a straightened position. You're going to take a deep breath in, and from here, as you breathe out, see if you can guide your forehead towards your knee, holding 3, 2, 1, and then inhale to release back down. Doing that 2 more times. Exhale, forehead moves towards the knee, holding 3, 2, 1, and inhale, releasing down. Last one, exhale, forehead towards the knee. 2, 1, and then releasing all the way back down. Taking that strap over now into your right hand. So the right hand's holding onto the strap, left hand is down on the floor. We're going to allow that strap to travel all the way out to the side. So opening up through the inner thigh here. Making sure that we're already opening up to your range. Maybe your leg stops at 10 past the hour. Maybe you're taking it a little bit wider. Don't overexert that muscle group because your inner thighs will not forgive you quickly. Sending that arm out to a capital T, so left arm is long, spreading wide, and we hold here for 3 deep breaths. So you could be holding on to your foot with your hand here if you like, if that's easier for you. Just feel that lovely opening through the inner thigh. You have just one more deep breath here, breathing in fully and exhaling completely. On your next inhale, guide that leg back through to center. And this time we're moving in the opposite direction. So you can keep your left leg straight, or you can bend your left leg and place the foot on the floor. You've got the option. Strap comes into the left hand, right arm goes out straight, and we're going to allow that leg to travel all the way over to the other side. So the right leg has travelled over. This isn't just an opening for the hamstring, but also a deep twist and a deep opening through all of the nerves on the side of the thigh. So see if you can send your gaze to look at your straight right arm and breathe into the low back here, breathing in, breathing out. 2 more breaths. And then releasing that knee softly back to a bend, but bringing the legs back through to center. And we're swapping legs. So both feet on the floor, wrapping the strap around the left leg, coming into this hamstring stretch with the left leg high. Some tension on the strap here. We take a deep breath in, and then as we exhale, gently pulling on that strap, guiding the toes towards your face. And again, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, feel the lengthening behind the back of the knee, opening through the hamstring. We pull. Last one of these, deep breath. And then exhale, pulling that strap, feeling tension behind the back of the leg. Option to stay here with that right leg bent, option to straighten that leg out long just to intensify this posture. And then we're going to take through with a rounding of the upper spine. So we actually can take this pose in standing as well. We'll save that for someday. Take a deep breath in. And then as we exhale, we can round the forehead towards the knee, holding 3, 2, 1, releasing all the way down as we inflate the lungs. Breathing out, we float head and chest, lifting 3, 2, 1, releasing down. Let's take that one last time, moving fully into this pose, rounding up 3, 2, 1, releasing down with the in-breath. The strap, the belt, transfers over into the left hand, right arm supporting on the floor. And we allow this leg to travel out to the side. So we're working on external rotation through the leg, through the hip, and just allowing that leg to fall where it does. So we all have a different structure of our hip, and depending on the shape of the bones that you were naturally born with will depend on your mobility in this position. But what we can do with yoga is work through a release of tension. So try and let go of what you look like visually right now and connecting with what you can feel in the body, in the muscles, in the ligaments. Maybe you want to send your head to look away from your leg. And we're going to breathe deeply here for 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out. And again, breathing in. Breathing out. Last one here. And then on your in-breath, bringing that leg back through to center and transferring the strap into your other hand. Option to keep the lower leg straight, or you can bend it if you'd like more support. And we're allowing this leg to travel all the way over to the other side now, coming into a lying twist. That leg can remain straight, or you can bend it if you prefer. And we're stretching that left arm out along shoulder height, sending the gaze to look away from the leg, just to melt into this twist. So just really bring your awareness to the sensations in the outer hip, the outer thigh and leg area. Take note of what you can feel here, what sensations we're creating in all those tiny nerve endings that run along the body. Deepening here for 3 breaths. Try and soften. Try and melt. One last deep breath here. And then as we exhale, we can bend those legs so they come to meet. And we can bring them all the way back through to center. Releasing the strap down to the side. When you're ready, coming into Shavasana. So stretching the legs long. Turning the palms upwards, making sure the back is spread wide on the mat. And closing down the eyes. So your final pose, Shavasana, usually being the most challenging pose in all of the physical asanas in yoga. Because we so rarely give ourselves the time to be truly still and truly in that state of non-doing. Asking yourself to lie in stillness and silence is one of the hardest things you can ask of your body. So just send your attention down to your toes and tell them to relax. Invite in the sensations you can feel in your feet and ankles and tell them to relax. Moving up to your upper thighs, knees and calves, the whole of the legs. In your mind's eye, tell them to relax. The hips, the glutes, the hip flexors, the belly, the lower back, the shoulders, telling your torso to relax. Your shoulders, tops of arms, elbows, lower arms, wrists, hands, each finger and thumb. Tell them to relax. Your neck, your chin, jaw, cheekbones, nose, eyes, eyebrows, forehead, temples, skull, back of the head and ears. Tell them to relax. 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 Start to deepen your breath now, energizing through your inhale and your exhale. Inviting some movement to your fingers and toes, giving them a wriggle. Maybe scrunching fingertips to the hands. When you're ready, turning and rolling over onto your right side. Resting here in the fetal position just for a few moments before we bring the body out of this relaxation. And when you're ready, pushing yourself up into a seated position with me. Bring the hands through, palms to meet, and bow the head to the fingertips. Just taking a moment to acknowledge the way your body and mind feel after your practice compared to how they felt before. Blessings of health and happiness. Om Shanti Namaste.